Most sales training is all about day 2, and they've completely forgotten about the psychology of the sale. The psychology of sales all day 1. I often say of the initial examination, this is the only part that's like probably requires you to script this and really get this down. I'm no miracle worker, and healing is a time-honored process. And from what I've seen today, it's going to take both time and commitment to get you there, but we will get you there. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the first 7 truths. Now there's an 8th that I like to call a courageous segue. And in essence, it's like a test close. And it's supposed to stimulate something called congruency, if you will. We want to set up certain questions that if the customer answers it and then behaves or chooses a different path, that would be incongruent. Okay, Robert Cialdini talks about this in his work. So that's what we're trying to do here. Now, there's kind of 3 phases to a courageous segue. And I call it courageous segue because remember, the tension is important, and it's somewhat, for most people, for a lot of people, it's quite confrontational. So it shouldn't be, but it's really a couple of questions. The first thing is you want to ask them, there's 3 parts to it. The first part is, hey, so, what concerns me is, Mary, you've been through everything. What concerns you has been there for like 5, 10 years, whatever it is. And if we did nothing at all, where do you think it might be in another 5 years' time? So it's been there for 5 years, it's not getting better. If we did nothing for this, we left it all alone, you walked out of here, we never looked after you, where do you think it'll be in 5 years' time from now? Now, they can either say better, same, or worse. If they say better, you're going to say, why do you say that? What makes you say that? If they say worse, I agree with you, it's going to get worse. And if they say stay the same, you might say, well, my experience, nothing stays the same. It's either better or worse. Which one do you think it is? Where do you think it's going to go based on what we've done over the last 5 years? Over the last 5 years, did it get better or worse? Probably a little bit worse. Bearing in mind, nothing stays the same. Either better or worse. Probably got a little bit worse. Okay, got it. Okay, then after everything I've heard today, it sounds, I agree it's going to get a little worse, but after everything I've heard today, it sounds like you're pretty motivated to get this corrected, yes? And I'll go like, yes. That's very motivated to get this collected. Okay, and then what I like to do is really set context that I'm no miracle worker, right? So after everything I've heard today, so first thing is, do you think it's going to get better, same, or worse? They say it's going to get worse. Yeah, I agree with you, it's going to get worse. But after everything I heard today, you're pretty motivated to get this corrected, correct? Yes, I'm motivated to get it corrected. And then we will normally say, that's really good to know, but so we're on the same page. There is quite a lot going on, and contrary to what drug companies might tell you, and they'll understand this, I'm no miracle worker, and healing is a time-honored process. And from what I've seen today, it's going to take both time and commitment to get you there, but we will get you there. But I just wanted to make sure that I let you know that from the word go, it's going to take both time. From what I'm seeing, we're going to have a look at your x-rays next week. It's going to take both time and commitment to get you there. But does that make sense? And they're going to go, yes. And then I might go, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to get rid of this without the use of drugs or surgeries? So there's kind of like 4 structures to it. I often say of the initial examination, this is the only part that's like probably requires you to script this and really get this down, but I'm going to teach it to you now in 4 sections. The first section is, where's it going to be in 5 years, 10 years if you've got nothing done to this thing? And we're going to get to, it's going to get worse. Yeah, I agree with you. And you're then going to say, from what I've heard, you're pretty motivated to get this corrected, right? Yes, but I am pretty motivated. Okay. Also, contrary to popular belief, there is quite a bit going on today. Contrary to what drug companies might tell you, healing does take time. So it's going to take both a time commitment and a commitment from, in other ways, for you to get to where you want to get. Does that make sense? And then go, yes. And then you might go, on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it for you to get this corrected or fixed without the use of drugs or surgeries? Or how committed are you to getting this fixed after the use of drugs or surgeries? If you're watching this right now, just jot those 4 points down. You might want to rewatch this. Jot those 4 points down. And if you script that off by heart, it's a bit wordy, But believe me, when you get that little process and you make it sound conversational, it's important that you make it sound conversational. It changes the game for you. I always say to people, I wish that everyone experiences what it's like to sell after test close have been answered the way we want it to be answered. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to getting this fixed or corrected without the use of drugs or surgeries? And they go, I'm a 10. And if you say, but it sounds like you're pretty motivated to get this corrected, and they go, extremely, I'll do whatever it takes. I can't tell you how the resistance to sale absolutely evaporated in light of those questions. But for those questions to be answered in a way we want to be answered, we need to effectively ask the questions beforehand that stack the reasons for them to justify to themselves, and to even be aware of the fact that the pain's not being there for 2 weeks, but being for 20 years. So those are my 7/8 truths that you have to go through initial examination to get tension, to find a problem. There needs to be a significant problem, and to speak to their struggle. Do not be too positive too soon. You have to find a problem. You have to find a problem so you can soon diagnose a solution. In chiropractic terms, our solution is chiropractic. But there has to be a problem that you cannot sell someone on, hey, you're pretty healthy, let's just keep you healthier. Trust me on this. I wish it was different, but good luck with that. So those are my 7 truths. That's your initial consultation, and then we finish with the next point. See another point. So I hope that was helpful so far. We've gone through what you do before, what you do during, and now 7/8 truths that you should be covering in initial consultation. But we're going to finish now with what I always say is 4 questions that every single patient wants to know. Now, you might take them from that and you're going to do a full examination. Now, I don't do much training in this because you've been through years and years of training on this, but I will say this: when you're doing your physical examination, make sure that you absolutely reiterate the fact. Think of the dentist, think of them, you're lying there, this is going on, this is going on, this is going, as we suspected, this is going on, etc. When they look at their mirror, and when you do the postural examination from side, your ear should be over top of the shoulder. What do you see with your head? Well, I've noticed that in the mirror. You have noticed that in the mirror before. Great. What do you see with your weight distribution? Okay, etc. So that's important. So as long as you understand the psychology behind it, you'll still do really well here, right? So we're going to do examination, and one thing I will say is, remember, for there to be a big reveal / tension built between the day 1 and day 2, there often needs to be a reveal. So if you don't have some type of objective measurements, you're going to have a tough time really being effective. Now, having said that, there are chiropractors that do this without x-rays and surface EMGs, but you do make your job a lot harder. I always say, assume you're not talented at all. I know you're very talented watching this, but you're not. I always like to say, assume you're not. What do you need? What tools better aid the sale? X-rays absolutely help the sale. Surface EMG absolutely helps the sale, etc. Or postural photos, and the light, some reveal, or motion x-rays, or whatever you want to do. It's just that there needs to be a reveal of an x-ray that they're anticipating looking at. So you're going to do your physical examination, and you're going to do some type of objective measurements. Then you're going to finish with what I say everyone wants to find out is, I'll finish the examination and say, at your next appointment, we are going to tell you exactly what we found, if we can help, how long it may take, and finally, how much it might cost. Do you have any questions, or does that make sense? There's some research to suggest that you should change the end statement away from "do you have any questions?" because you're finishing with a no, okay, or no rather, as opposed to "does that all make sense?" and getting yeses. Because there's some research to suggest that the sales percentage goes up when you get 5 yeses in a row towards the end of when you're asking for sale. But you're potentially not right now. I will say this: as my sales career has gone on, and many millions across many millions of businesses, right? My bricks and mortar business was $7 million a year. I have taken another business to multi-7 figures a year from scratch. That's 2 separate businesses to multi-7 figures. I will statistically, only 1% of businesses in the planet ever get to $5 million, and we got to above that. So I will say this is that if in the sales process, if you've hit those points and you've finished with those things, and you've set it up, teed it up for day 2, most sales training is all about day 2. and they've completely forgotten about the psychology of the sale. The psychology of the sale is all day one. I'm going to finish with the first thing I said to you. The point of this entire day one is problem, agitate, / truth. The truth is agitation. There's a saying, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. That is what we talk about here. We need that type of agitation. And then a big reveal of what we found on day 2. Now you're looking at a stellar day 2. And what we found, if I can help, how long it'll take, and how much it'll cost. I don't like to say what we found, what we can do to help you. I like to say if we can help you, because that's like, that feels more like bullshit meter, if you will, right? Anyway, hope it was helpful. That's a day 1 in a nutshell for you. Quite in depth, actually. But I know for a fact, if you follow those steps, you're going to message me and you'll be like, wow, that was awesome. Courageous Segue is probably the only one that you're going to have to script. Hope it was helpful. I love and appreciate you guys. I'll see you on day 2 or report of findings training in a moment. See you then.